It is the time to talk about the vocal chameleons currently active as singers, both as solo artists, if they are active, and as characters in 2D groups. He has a unique voice, a deep music sensibility that influences everything from his singing style to the music genres he's comfortable performing. Is that one SEIYUU that I am 100% sure will always deliver something that is both crazy and outstanding in the same performance. You and I start this talk with the chameleon among chameleons, Toshiyuki Toyonaga. Let's kick off this episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Welcome to SEIYUU Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is vocal chameleons among male SEIYUU, Toshiyuki Toyonaga. Cited by fellow SEIYUU and fans alike as the best singer among male SEIYUU, Toshiyuki Toyonaga is owner of a massive vocal range and a skill set that is so varied in techniques and singing styles that makes others admire him. It is crazy how versatile Toyonaga is. That, allied with his ability to literally play any character due to his wide vocal range, makes him a chameleon. The chameleon among chameleons. Path in the music industry. Toyonaga made his debut as a solo artist under Art Sonic in 2014 with the self-produced and composed album Music of the Entertainment. This album is still considered one of the best releases by a male SEIYUU in this decade due to its raw display of versatility and technique. This album feels almost like a portfolio displaying everything that Toyonaga can do as a singer, songwriter, musician, and producer. He crafted an album that explores rock, funk, enka, jazz, and pop sonorities and gave his own twist to those. He showed his genius when it came to music with his album, and after that, nothing would ever be the same for him. In 2017, he moved from the indie scene and made a major debut under Aniplex Plus. His stint with Aniplex Plus was rather brief. The label, known for not being foreigner-friendly, as in promotional videos are not available for overseas fans to watch, was something that, allied to the watered-down sound and compositions, ended up hindering Toyonaga's sales in comparison with his time as an indie artist. Suffice to say, this and the lack of creative freedom, being locked to releasing music for anime, made him quickly change heirs as soon as his contract was up. After the release of Reason in 2014, You Laugh in 2015, and Clown in 2016, Toyonaga bid goodbye to the music label and went on to create his own music label, Tease Music. The first release under his own music label was the covers album Tease. It was followed by the pop rock easy listening album With Life in 2018. Toyonaga was back to being on the helm for all things creative in his music career and crafted an album inspired by the birth of his first child as well as his experience with fatherhood. These changes in his life would also influence the creation of the following albums: Into the Light from 2019 and Dot Link from 2021. He's got an underrated solo career filled with technical performances and one-of-a-kind compositions. Style and singing skills. The singer-songwriter has been a staple of quality and versatility, and thus is currently the most active SEIYUU in 2D music projects, with over 15 credits in projects that cover music genres such as rock, pop, hip-hop, enka, Eurobeat, acid jazz, among many more. When it comes to his style as a singer, Toyonaga has an ever-evolving approach to every song that comes his way. First is vast vocal range, covering as high as F5, which is the start of the female vocal range, which is the highest range on a male's tenor range, but he's also got as low as a G1, making his vocals insanely versatile, with the possibility of tapping into fa baritone and fa bass at will and deliver those performances with the same power as you'd expect from his natural high tenor range. As a result, you can find Toyonaga singing as young kids, androgynous characters, rough, aggressive characters, or crazy as hell characters. Everything and everyone fits Toyonaga's vocal range. Once again, this is unheard of. He makes everything not only work with his voice, but also sound natural. Toshiyuki Toyonaga is best known for his crystal clear tenor voice, but what continuously impresses his fans, or anyone that comes across his performances, is how ridiculously wide his vocal range is. Then, his technique is second to none. Vibrato, falsetto, head voice actually is a master when it comes to head voice. Legatos, crescendos, and to top it all off, constant changes of tempo are no problem for him as he adapts his singing on the fly, something that 2D music composers like to make the best of, creating insanely complex songs for him to perform, and surprise, surprise, he nails those. His musical sensibility makes it so that he can perform any music genre. He's got that rough, raw edge that rock music needs. He's got that smooth delivery and riffing that R&B and soul music need. He can sound really gentle and has the emotional range that enables him to absolutely nail ballads and leave you weeping as a result. He can even perform electronica and bubbly pop and make it so infectious that you'll find yourself jamming along to his performances. Even enka, that is insanely difficult to master as a music genre, is surprisingly comfortable with, delivering performances as if he had been performing as an enka singer for his whole life. Given how vast is his vocal range and how comfortable he is with his technique and skills, he is a perfect asset for a cappella projects, as he can both drive them forward as well as being the perfect backup, not to mention that he can sing in multiple positions. 2D groups and how he adapted to those. Over the years, Toyonaga has joined a wide variety of 2D groups in the most varied music genres and requiring completely different things from his performances. Due to his versatility on the vocal end, early on in his career, Toyonaga was often chosen as either the center or the leader of those groups, setting the tone and quality to his level. As time has passed, Toyonaga has been taking supporting roles on the vocal end, helping out with harmonies, canons, basically making sure the songs are as exciting from the leads' side as they are from the backing vocals. This has happened a lot with his work with Erosion and Fame. He's the #1 choice by 2D music producers due to how adaptive he is, fitting any vocal range, and then to top it all off, suit any character no matter how wacky it is. Some of the groups or bands in which he shines include Cosmes, Thrive, Erosion, Fame, Lolo D, and Veronica as Momochi. What makes him a vocal chameleon? In simple terms, the ability to fit any singing style, to always bring something different to his performances. Of not delivering the same thing over and over despite being one of the most sought-after singers among male SEIYUU. The fact that he has a massive vocal range, from fa bass to pure tenor, even tapping into female vocal range, and can use it all without sounding like he's straining his voice. being able to sing in Fame as a pure tenor, then going back to Thrive and sing as a rough baritone, back to Momochi that honestly sings in whichever vocal range is required for a song. Actually, it seems the character was tailor-made with Toyonaga meant as his voice actor. It's all impressive, and I could keep on doing the same exercise for all groups he's a part of. He sounds unique in all of those, bringing something that ends up being characteristically of that character he's voicing. He manages to perform with the same high level of quality for all characters he sings as, no matter the voice tone or the vocal range. He's the type of singer that doesn't need music to sound good. He naturally sounds good. And this is not an easy thing to pull off. He can, on the fly, shift between vocal ranges to support other singers. What sets him apart from everyone else in the seiyuu industry is his musical sensibility mixed with a wide vocal range and emotional range. Basically, no one sounds like him. No one has the exact same combo of skill set and techniques as him. He's a one-of-a-kind singer among male seiyuu and easily the chameleon among chameleons. Standout performances. Toyonaga has a solo artist repertoire filled with outstanding performances, and when it comes to 2D music projects, that repertoire gets massive. Still, some of the standout performances include Toshiyuki Toyonaga with Kitten. Kitten is an R&B ballad in which Toyonaga shows his gentle delivery while performing the lyrics with a lot of emotion. This is also a song in which he starts off singing in a comfortable mid-tone, bringing a bit of his high range to the spotlight. However, what awaits the listener in the bridge of this song is mind-blowing. If by now you're not melting with his smooth R&B riffing. Toyonaga goes really high on his vocal range, adding head voice to his performance and riffing his way in the most gentle way I've ever heard in a song. This is one of those performances that may go unnoticed, but it is so subtly technical that it deserves a shout. Fame with Follow Me. If it is range you're looking for, Toyonaga performs as a member of Fame in the a cappella project Aopella, as a pure tenor, the lead. As such, you will find him performing on what should be the limit of his tenor range in this song. Surprise, surprise, that is not his limit, as Toyonaga is still far from approaching female vocal range in this performance. Do listen to this performance with a lot of attention, because everything about this performance revolves around his vocals, and even if he's not in the spotlight, his head voice performance in the backing vocals, not to mention his ad-libs in the bridge and outro, are something that will make your jaw drop. Momochi with Guren Shinju. Enka meets heavy trap music. The clash between classic Japanese beauty and the gritty, dirty sound of trap music. On top, Toshiyuki Toyonaga with a crystal clear voice delivering a violent performance. This is one of those performances that deserves to be listened to time and time again for how haunting it sounds and how effortlessly Toyonaga makes his traditional performance that doesn't really change besides the legato in the outro, even with the entrance of trap music in the chorus. Not to mention his smooth rap flow in the second verse that arrives out of nowhere to signal that this song is as beautiful as it feels, but it is as dark and twisted at its core. Welcome to Momochi's playground, where everything is not what it sounds nor looks like. Erosion with One Thing. For Erosion, Toyonaga has mostly a supporting role on the vocal end. but what he does for this group is something that I believe is more precious than anything you could imagine. Toyonaga provides depth to the group, shifting from his natural tenor range to baritone to support them. This is something that goes unnoticed to most people, but believe me, you take Toyonaga out of this song and the unison in the chorus will instantly lack emotion and power. He brings the little things, the details that are the differential between a good and an outstanding performance. He gives life to the harmonies in the background and shines as a lead, bringing a bit of raspiness with this performance, something that is not common for him. Although singing rock is not something rare for Toyonaga, it is always interesting to see and hear how he adapts to different lineups with different needs on the vocal end. Cosmes with Ain't No Love. Rapping ended up being a natural thing for Toyonaga, as prior to joining the Paradox Live franchise, he had already experienced rapping. That experience came from Lion, song performed as Momochi in the Dear Vocalist franchise. It was no surprise to find Toyonaga going off in a rap performance, with a natural flow and smooth delivery. Listen to the emotions, anger, frustration, and ambition seeping through his performance in an effortless fashion. Also, do notice how well he fits and works alongside Yusuke Kobayashi, making the duo sound ridiculously good. Hound Roar with Eyes. Breathy, dreamy, smooth, gentle, and filled with emotion. Toyonaga's performance in Hound Roar's acid jazz tune Eyes is one that will make your jaw drop with its quality. This is a tricky performance to pull off, with Toyonaga having an interesting mix of clean mid-notes, a bit of faux baritone being used as accents, a lot of R&B riffing while shifting in his vocal range, not to mention plenty of vibrato. This is one of those performances that may sound easy to copy, but are, as a matter of fact, insanely difficult to pull off. And when he gets to the bridge and it's just him and the Rhodes piano, he sounds so sweet that he actually feels like a dream. The way he conducts himself in this performance is phenomenal. And while the band is incredibly underrated, this song, like all others by Hound Roar, is well worth checking. These songs highlight the different charms, techniques and vocal ranges Toyonaga can pull off and effectively chameleon his way through. I do welcome you to check all of these and more, but these ones are already pretty good for you to get an idea of how versatile, how much of a chameleon Toyonaga really is. Listening to Toshiyuki Toyonaga is a fantastic experience. It's that time when you come across a talent that is so perfect and so masterful at their craft that you can't help but to gasp in awe. Is that SEIYUU that I always recommend to check his music, or if not his music, at least the characters he voices into the music projects. His versatility is something that, no matter how many years pass, continues to impress me. How amazing is he to be able to pull off performances in almost any music genre there is? How can he swiftly change from high notes to a deep baritone, or even be bold and perform as a bass? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. It's because he's a vocal chameleon. Now tell me, what do you enjoy about Toshiyuki Toyonaga's singing skills? And is there a performance of his that impressed you? Let me know in the comments on YouTube. And remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of SEIYUU Lounge. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the hand that feeds HQ's weekly mail SEIYUU and music-related content. I'll return next week with another episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.